Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, thank you for inviting me to address you today, and a special thank you to GlobalPower Women Network Africa for organizing this important event. I only wish I could join you in person. As I carry out my mandate, which is concentrated on eradicating conflict-related sexual violence, the fight for the empowerment of women and girls, and the fight against HIV/AIDS are not only very close to my heart, indeed, they are battles that I engage in on a daily basis in the conflict and post-conflict environments where I carry out my work. Sexual violence in conflict is a crime as old as war itself. It is a cheap and effective weapon that is used to terrorize populations for military advancements and political gain. Because rape is being used as a weapon of war, it is more dangerous today to be a woman in conflict than a soldier. When women's bodies are used as battlefields, it scars them, their families, and their communities physically and emotionally. The repercussions of sexual violence in conflict are long-lasting and devastating. They include pregnancy, sexually transmitted diseases, including HIV/AIDS, depression, anxiety disorders, flashbacks, difficulties in re-establishing intimate relationships, and fear. These devastating consequences make it difficult for communities to recover, and they hinder peace and reconciliation efforts after the guns have fallen silent. For too long, the history books have ignored the crime of sexual violence in conflict and post-conflict countries. We have to break the silence. We know the danger it poses and the harm it causes. We know that survivors rarely receive the medical and psychosocial services they need to help rebuild their lives. We also know that when women and girls, 50% of the population, are degraded, dehumanized, and humiliated, there can be no pursuit of economic or social development. Sexual violence against women and girls therefore undermines the advancement of an entire nation. Now that we know the problem, we must implement the solutions. We must address the root cause of violence against women and girls, the lack of respect for their rights. We know that if women are not valued in peacetime, they will not be protected in wartime. We must work together to ensure women and girls must have the full enjoyment of their human, civil, political, economic, social, and cultural rights, so that they can be empowered to stand up for themselves and their safety and security. We must also address the long-held belief that rape in war is a minor crime that happens to expendable people and thus does not require the same level of punishment as other human rights violations. We must end impunity for this crime, and we must provide the support and services for victims that they need to re-establish and move on with their lives. Sexual violence in conflict has been called history's oldest and least condemned crime. But through education, implementation and enforcement of women's rights, dedication, determination, and commitment, we can put an end to this horrible scourge once and for all. Remember, none of us can advance if half of us are left behind. My best wishes for a productive and successful conference. Thank you.